Hi. Sometimes when I'm running a piece of code, if I know it's going to take some time to do some processing, I want my users to know something is happening. You know the sort of thing, you've seen it when you're unpacking some software, something like this. You want a progress bar that shows you how far you've got. Something like this. So I want to be able to hit a button, run my code, and I get a progress bar. So how does one of these progress bars work? Very simply, we have a small user form with a couple of shapes on it. I have label 1 and label 2, and the reason I have these is that one of them is going to be set to 0 width and is gradually going to get wider, and the other one has no obvious colour to it but holds a mirror of the text, so we can see some text on it as well while it grows. There's a key feature here. The user form itself must have a setting show modal equals false. If that was true, then the user form would wait for the user to do something before allowing other code to run. Show modal equals false allows the user form to sit there doing its thing whilst other code is running in the background. It doesn't interfere with it. So what we have, I have user form 1, and it has on it label 1, which you can't see because it's behind label 2, which you can see. And I've left their default values on their label 1, label 2, because I'm going to change those. By having the labels there, I can see which one's which when I'm working with my modeling. So there's label 1 behind label 2. And that's all that's in this particular code. The controls for it are in a separate standard code module. The first thing I need to do is capture the width of my label, because the modeler may change the size of the user form from time to time within Visual Basic, and so we don't want to fix the width. We want to read what the width is when the form is created. And this just effectively captures that width, and what we'll do later is we'll apply a percentage to that width, and that will set the width of the bar and show the different progress. And I'll make this this file, as ever, I'll make this file available for a free download if you want to use this within your own code in future. So I have several subroutines here. One of them shows the progress in the first place. One of them updates the progress. And the last one hides the progress. What does each do? When I first show the progress, I want to set my label on my user form to nothing. I want to get rid of all the text on it. On label 1, which is the hidden one in the background, and label 2 as well, I want to set the caption to blank, but I also want to capture this width when I show my progress, and then I want to set the width to 0. So I've got my shape, set the width to 0, it's disappeared, hasn't it? And then the last thing I do is show my user form. So it's now showing a form that is effectively blank. The next piece of code, I can call this code as many times as I like. I'm going to pass into it a percentage, which is a double type, which means it is a value, can be a value between 0 and 1. A percentage, I want to work with a fairly neat number in the background, and calling it percentage reminds me of that. And if I want to, I can also pass a bit of text into it as well, which will then potentially appear on the progress bar. So I'm going to regularly throw numbers 1%, 2%. In my examples, I use 10, 20, 30%. I have an example that includes text and an example that excludes it, just for demonstration purposes. So I'm going to create the new caption that's going to go on both of my labels, which is any text that came in, so either nothing, because it's either blank, because nothing was passed in, or a piece of text, a fixed text. And then I'm going to format my percentage using the percentage format, just for neatness. I am then going to expand label 2. I'm going to expand the width of it. It's going to be the default width times my percentage between 0 and 100%. And I'm going to apply the caption to it. Similarly, I'm going to apply the caption to the hidden label in the background. So when the blue progress bar is smaller than the caption, I can still see that caption behind it. I'm going to add in do events as well. What do events does is allows Excel to catch up with anything else that's happening in the background. What you often get with a piece of code when it's running, everything will just sort of hang up and you can't see any progress even though it's happening. And in this case, a progress bar that just stops is not a good thing. So I'm sticking do events in there to allow my progress bar to continue to grow. Even when Excel gets a bit hung up, it will allow it to reset itself. And then my last one, when I'm completely finished, I want to just hide my progress bar again. So I've created two test routines that will demonstrate these. Remember, show progress, update progress, hide progress. It's a simple loop between 1 and 10. I'm going to wait for 1 second on each loop just so that it's not all instant, you can see it happening. And then I'm going to update my progress with my percentage. So a percentage between 1 and 10, a percentage is going to be divide by 10. So it will go from 10% up to 100%. And then it will hide the progress. So that's test progress with no message. And I'm then going to have a test progress with a message. I've split it into 3 separate loops just so that the first shorter loop says that we're opening something. The second loop says we're configuring something. And the third loop says we're updating something. Nothing more complex than that. So you've seen progress with no messages. Progress with messages. We're opening something. We are configuring it, whatever that is. And then we're updating it. And then hide progress. And that's all we need. The form, the user form, and the standard code module dragged into any other file, and we can simply refer to them as required. Okay, thanks for watching.